How much do you think a Louis Vuitton bag actually costs to make? Some reports suggest as little as a few $100s in materials and labor. Yet, people line up around the world, happy to pay over $2,000 for the same bag. Here's the twist. This isn't just about handbags. It's about the man who turned that tiny gap between cost and price into one of the largest fortunes in history. Bernard Arnault, the mastermind behind LVMH, is sitting on a business that generated almost $85 billion in sales last year. And even as the luxury market slows in 2025, he's still protecting the one thing Wall Street worships: pricing power. Today, we're going to unpack Arnault's luxury formula, how he builds unbreakable brand moats, how LVMH keeps raising prices when others can't, and what this means for your own personal wealth strategy. In 2024, LVMH pulled in nearly $85 billion in revenue. That's more than Nike and Starbucks combined. By mid-2025, sales cooled a bit, slipping to around $40 billion for the first half of the year. But even with demand softening in China and the US, Arnault calls the empire resilient. When you compare LVMH to rivals, Hermès, Kering, Richemont, it still leads on scale, consistency, and global desirability. This isn't luck. It's architecture. Pricing power is the ability to raise prices without losing customers. Most companies dream about it. Arnault built an empire on it. Taking about it, you don't negotiate the price of a Louis Vuitton bag. You don't wait for a Dior 50% off sale. That's what true pricing power looks like, and it's the holy grail of investing. Arnault's moat isn't one wall, it's 5 walls stacked around his brands. First, history that feels untouchable. Louis Vuitton started in 1854 with luxury trunks. Dior reshaped fashion in 1947. These aren't just logos, they're stories consumers want to buy into. Second, icons that last for generations. The Speedy, the Lady Dior, the Neverfull, products that stay relevant for decades, not just seasons. Third, scarcity by design. LVMH controls supply and distribution. No outlet malls, no overexposure. Scarcity fuels desire. Fourth, craftsmanship as a moat. From Moat's vineyards to Dior's ateliers, vertical integration ensures quality competitors struggle to replicate. And fifth, theater-like experiences. Flagship stores in Paris or New York don't just sell products, they sell identity and aspiration. When you combine these 5 elements, you don't just get a business, you get a fortress. In April 2025, Louis Vuitton quietly hiked US prices. The Neverfull GM bag jumped from about $2,090 to $2,200 overnight. The Speedy line rose nearly 5% compared to mid-2024. Inflation plays a role, sure, but let's be real. Few brands could pull this off while keeping waitlists intact. That's Arnault's edge. It's not all champagne and runway shows. LVMH's first half profit in 2025 slipped roughly 15% year over year. Tourist spending slowed. Chinese shoppers who once powered luxury growth are spending more cautiously. And US tariffs make imports pricier. Not every part of LVMH is bulletproof. Sephora faces stiff competition, Hennessy Cognac feels price sensitive. But that's where diversification saves Arnault. Fashion softens, jewelry picks up. Cosmetics bridge the gap. So how does Arnault keep this machine running? Here are 5 levers you can apply to your own wealth strategy. Icons compound. Look for investments or skills that grow stronger over decades. Scarcity creates value. In your career or business, don't be too available. Exclusive skills or products command higher pay. Entry points matter. LVMH gets teenagers buying Dior lipsticks before they can afford a $4,000 handbag. Investors should look for companies with tiered products. Control distribution. Arnault avoids middlemen. Think about how you control your own channels, whether it's a portfolio or a business. And finally, culture multiplies demand. Collaborations with artists or celebrities boost desirability. For you, building a personal brand multiplies opportunity. From an investor's perspective, LVMH today trades at about 20 times earnings, right in line with its 10-year average. Hermès, more than 40 times, thanks to even tighter scarcity. Kering, dragged down by Gucci's slowdown, sits closer to 14 times. Richemont, owner of Cartier, is somewhere in between. The market is basically telling us scarcity and brand moats deserve a premium. But nothing is invincible. Risks? A prolonged slump in Chinese luxury spending. Rising US tariffs on European imports. Overexposure of icons like the Neverfull. And currency swings. Luxury brands are global, but profits are booked in euros. Even Arnault's fortress needs upkeep. So what does this mean for you? 3 takeaways. Protect your moat. In your career, your skills, or your investments, focus on building something hard to copy. Respect pricing power. Don't chase only growth. Look for investments and strategies that hold value even when times get tough. And think long term. Arnault spent decades assembling LVMH. Wealth isn't built overnight. It compounds. If this deep dive gave you a new perspective, hit that subscribe button. Drop the word luxury in the comments, and I'll send you a free checklist to spot companies with real pricing power in your own portfolio.